everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this plein air easel from scratch using things that I found in my local hardware store. This video will be especially helpful for those of you who have no experience doing DIY, using drills, stuff like that. I personally didn't have too much experience going into this, but I'm very happy with the result, and it was pretty simple and you only really need a few things. So let's get into it. Here's everything you need: a tripod, a piece of wood, I'll explain in a minute where I got this one from, a 1/4 inch T-nut, some wood glue, a drill, some drill bits in different sizes, and a hammer. Before we get onto the actual making of the easel, I just wanted to quickly talk about the tripod, which is quite an important part of the whole easel. So I have this tripod that is actually small enough to fit into my backpack, which is great. It folds up really, really small. It's the Bonfoto B690A. I'll link to it in the description below. So you'll just want to look for a tripod that is lightweight, ideally has a little hook here so that you can weigh it down, and also I find it quite handy that it has this ball head, so I can just tilt the easel in whatever direction I need. When I first went to the hardware store, I was looking around in the wood section, but then I realised that these trolleys that you can get when you're moving house are actually the perfect thing for this. So I got one of these trolleys, and all I did was just take the wheels off, and that is basically all I needed to do to turn it into something that I could use. And it's also really handy because it has a little handle with it. It probably needs a bit more sanding and varnishing. I haven't got around to that yet, but it's pretty decent for what it is. I think it only cost me $20 from Bunnings. Once I had the wood ready, all I needed to do was drill a hole and put the T-nut securely in the centre of the piece of wood. So the first thing I did was measure out the piece of wood just so the bit where I was drilling was exactly in the centre. So then I took the drill and drilled a small hole to start off with, a guide hole, and then I measured the T-nut sort of approximately on all of the drill bits and found the drill bit that was the right size for the T-nut hole, and then I just slowly drilled a hole into the piece of wood. I was careful at this point that I didn't want it to go all the way through the wood. I just wanted it to go as deep as the T-nut itself. Once the hole was ready, I mixed up the wood glue just for an extra layer of security, and I just mixed it up and put it in the hole, and then I took the T-nut and pushed it down into the hole as far as I could. And then I just got the hammer out and just hammered it in. The great thing about the T-nut is it has these little sharp bits in it which kind of hammer into the wood, so it's a very secure way to attach something. I did also get my boyfriend to help me with the stage. I think that's good. And then finally all I needed to do was screw in the quick release plate from my tripod. The reason this works is because the tripod screw is a 1/4 inch, which is the same as the T-nut screw. So make sure before you do any of this that the T-nut screw and the tripod release plate screw and work together. I feel like DIY is filled with a lot of innuendos. And then there I had it. It was basically done. So now I'm going to show you how I set it up when I'm outside. I got these magnetic clips from Bunnings. I think you can get them in quite a few different places, but I just attach these to the side here, and then that helps me keep my watercolour palette in place, so I can kind of have it off to the edge slightly, and the magnets just give it an extra level of security just to hold it in place. Just as an example, this is the A4 size Etchalab sketchbook, and it fits pretty well there, but just to make sure that it's held in place properly, I just have some bulldog clips and I just clip those on like that, and that just holds the sketchbook in place. And as it's always windy whenever I go out, I do have another clip here as well. Then for water, I've got this little foldable pot from Daler Rowney. And because it's silicone, it does stay pretty well put. I probably need to figure out a way to make it a bit more secure. It hasn't fallen off yet, but once it has got water in, it is pretty secure, and I don't really feel like it's going to fall off. I might figure out a slightly better way to do this, but for now that's what I've been doing. And then I just have my paper towel, and I've just been kind of sticking it in there, and that seems to be holding it in place. And I can kind of tilt it a little bit, and it all sort of stays in place. At least it has been doing so far. One other thing I realised is when I unscrewed the wheels, there were these holes left over that I could actually screw things into, and somehow they are actually the same size as a lot of regular camera screw mounts. So I basically came up with a weird invention to be able to film myself while painting. I found every camera screw that I owned and screwed it all together. This larger end goes in here like this, and then I can actually attach my camera to the top, and it doesn't really get in the way too much because I'm more doing things with my right hand on this side and then the camera is recording things on this side. So I did actually take this out to my local park recently to test it out, so let's go and see what this little 360 camera recorded. Thank you for watching. This was a really fun project for me, and I can't wait to get outside and try this easel a little bit more in nature or in Sydney suburban life. The reason that I made this easel in the first place is I have a lot of back problems. I actually have osteoporosis in my back, which makes it really hard sometimes to sit down for long periods of time and just paint, especially if I'm sort of crunched over painting. And when I'm outside doing plein air painting, it can be hard sometimes to find comfortable places to sit, and just for me personally, standing is a lot better for my back. Obviously my feet get a bit tired, but overall it's just a lot more of a nice experience for me. So if you personally struggle with back issues, or you find it hard to sort of sit down for a long period of time without getting back pain, then this might be a really good option for you. And yeah, just give it a go. It really doesn't cost that much, so even if you just do it as a bit of an experiment, then I think you'll have a lot of fun. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.